Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Hello. It's a pleasure to follow the member for Mid and South Pembrokeshire, and I extend my warmest regards to all members making their maiden speeches today. First, I'd like to acknowledge my predecessor, Duncan Baker, who was an attentive and hard-working member, and I wish him well in his future pursuits in industry. And before him, Norman Lamb, who served in this House for 19 years prior and left an extraordinary legacy in the realm of mental health, a cause that he continues to be a dedicated advocate for. It was, of course, in no small part Norman's commitment to speaking the truth to power and giving a voice to the voiceless that made him such a hero to the people of North Norfolk, and which attracted me to politics fully 7 years ago when I first got elected as a county councillor, and I draw members' attention to my register of interest in connection with my continued role there. I am immensely grateful for the trust that residents across North Norfolk have shown in me. Trust to represent them here, but also trust to play a part in the deep transformation we need in our politics if we're going to make positive change for society. Madam Deputy Speaker, this is an extraordinary place, but I cannot do what I have promised to do for my constituents. We cannot really do what we have been elected to do without giving it the shake-up that's long overdue. Because when people in the beautiful constituency of North Norfolk cannot live well in good accommodation with access to transport and employment and healthcare as part of a vibrant society, then it is all of us who are failing them. I'm thinking of the former resident I met on the train just last week who said to me, "I just want to come home, but there aren't the jobs and there isn't the transport." Or Kit, who made me my wonderful Liberal Democrat tie, and the need to protect the precious Norfolk Broads that she lives near. Or Lisa in North Walsham, who is living in constant anguish because of the supply risks to her life-dependent medication. But also Don, a 99-year-old in Sheringham, who is pinning his hope on a new kind of politics for the sake of his grandchildren. The bill we're debating today brings forward much-needed reform of the House of Lords, which we Liberal Democrats, of course, support. But we know that this bill doesn't go far enough. We must establish a fully elected upper house, elected using a fairer voting system as soon as possible. But, Madam Deputy Speaker, the House of Lords is only one part of our broken system which needs to see urgent, radical reform. The structure and organisation of government itself must evolve if it is to be fit for the modern age. And this transformation must extend beyond government to the wider public services and administrative systems that serve our citizens. Continuing with the current siloed structures of government is to ignore the technological advances of the past 50 years and fail to embrace the logarithmic advances in the future we are already living in. This evolution is about bringing policy and service delivery closer to the everyday lives and needs of people at every stage of their journey through life. And it's having a very real impact in rural areas like mine, where our public services are in dangerous decline. Benjamin Court, a reablement centre in Cromer, has fallen into the gap between these two silos: social care, managed by the local authority, and health services overseen by the NHS, leading to its closure. Not to mention the desperate need for a properly networked rural public transport service. This is key to enabling access to everything, from employment to healthcare, but it's out of the scope for those departments, and it's instead left languishing at the bottom of the pile of priorities by a near-bankrupt county council. These problems make the lives of my constituents harder every day. We cannot go on like this. But, Madam Deputy Speaker, there is a solution. We can bring the design and delivery of services closer to the needs of citizens, and there is plenty of precedence to go on here. In the Industrial Revolution, Thomas Edison made a profound contribution to rewiring the way that industry was organised. Prior to electricity generation, which he helped to develop, there tended to be only one motor in a factory. Industry had to be organised around a single source of power, usually a steam engine, with every machine that needed power connecting directly to the central drive shaft in the ceiling above. Components could be made, yes, but then had to be transported elsewhere and assembled usually by hand. Energy was, Madam Deputy Speaker, the central organising principle of industry, but electricity made it possible to pipe power to anywhere on the factory floor. It meant machines could be placed wherever they were needed, becoming more precise and efficient and specialised, and it led to mass manufacturing with the product as the central organising principle of industry. Now, over the past few years, we've gone through another revolution that is potentially even bigger. It's the communications revolution. And it's being powered not by the invention of electricity, but by data. Since the advent of the consumer web in the 1990s, people have come to expect a higher degree of personalisation in their interactions with organisations and services. Data gathered from a wide range of sources, not just digital, is driving innovation and enabling more tailored, proactive experiences for users. And this ability to be more preemptive and personalised doesn't even need people to be digitally enabled. Data has enabled the rewiring of industry, not around the production line or the product, but around the citizen or user experience. And this has caused profound change in the overall architecture of many modern organisations, but it has had limited impact on the way that government and the state is structured. There are great innovations taking place to try and integrate services and make them more patient or user-centred, but without fundamental change in the underlying structures of power and public services, their effects will be limited. Madam Deputy Speaker, from tackling climate change and preventing sewage spilling into the sea to helping people get work, get about, let alone get a dentist appointment, so much of the change this country badly needs isn't limited to one pillar of the state, but cross-cuts different departments. Perhaps it's time to move away from the traditional silos of Secretaries of State for Education, for Health and for Transport, and instead adopt a more citizen-focused model. Imagine Secretaries of State for the citizen experience, for well-being and prosperity, for children, or for data and privacy. Madam Deputy Speaker, if people in North Norfolk are to get the changes they deserve to our rural health and social care provision, to access and prosper in the jobs of the future, and to trust politicians as the custodians of our natural environment, then we need to be prepared to rewire the structures of politics and public service delivery around the needs of the people that they and all of us in this House serve.